probably need to preface this at the start. Tom recorded the episode solo last night. The reason being, my wife is sick, so I'm taking care of the baby alone, which meant I couldn't record during our normal time. And then Alex's house got a leak by the latest insane storm that I guess hit his area. So Tom was like, I got this. Do a little solo. And then I thought, let me jump in on this. So I haven't listened to the episode yet, and I don't know how it starts. I don't know how it goes. I'm going to guess that Tom's about to say something when this starts, like Alex and Chris aren't here. There is, man, he might not even bring up the previously on. I was going to say, I'll probably be like, there was no previously on, which there will be. I'm going to play it, but he won't have seen it. But he just might not acknowledge that because he probably knows that I would just put it in later because there have been times where I couldn't make it to the episode, so I just threw it in at the top, even though they didn't have it to play. So yeah, I'm just gonna watch along with you, record myself live. So you might want to check this one out on video, and I might pause at times to interject as it goes. So let's do this thing. Previously on Unranked. There's something that connects
There's
these
something that web connects.
There's
them
no,
all.
but there's not even, but there aren't even clues. It's not like this is like a cryptic clue. Like this is worse.
No, dude, this is a thing. I think people could get this. I think you can
No,
get
this is worse than Rockbusters.
You're gonna find
all
You
right.
You're
say
gonna
this
get
all
it.
the time. I got it.
Now you're gonna eat all those words for getting it right.
These are people who have gotten killed by getting hit in the head.
This is the
way
tier
they
ranking of fictional characters with fatal head wounds.
died. Yeah.
After all that bitching and moaning, you fucking nailed it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Unranked podcast. My name is Tom Caswell, and it is just me today. We have.
I wonder if I'm doing a different voice right now than I normally am during the show because I'm not talking to anyone else, and it's so much weird. It's quiet. It's like too quiet, especially because I'm doing this in the middle of the night. So I'm more aware of my voice, and he's doing like if you've heard his videos in GameSpot, he's doing that voice. It's like smoother and it's more breathy. Like he's got, he's doing Tom does like a little bit of like one of those old Apple videos when Johnny Ive worked there when he's like presenting alone. He puts on more of like a announcer voice, and I noticed I was like immediately at the jump that his voice is different than when we record. So I bet mine is too. That's so funny.
Chris and Tuna have had a wild 24 hours, both of them. Chris's wife is sick right now, and so he's having to take care of the kid kind of full time, and he's got his job and everything, so just very busy at the moment.
He couldn't have known
unable
I'd say
to do
this.
the podcast, and then unfortunately,
Or do this.
so it was just going to be me and Tuna. Then unfortunately, Tuna has a leak because it has been raining like crazy this summer here on the East Coast, as weather has been wild everywhere. I don't need to tell you how screwed we are when it comes to the climate. But there was actually a tornado that it was a water spout, apparently. Everyone online is like, it's a water spout. It's only a tornado when it hits land. So
Tom texted me this.
There was unfortunately some just really bad weather. Tuna is safe and everything. His house just has a leak, but there was actually this water spout tornado off the coast of Queens and Long Island and that part of New York. And like I said, he's safe, but the weather has been wild and not great. So that was.
By the way, I'll let you, for the fellow homeowners out there that are pouring one out, or just really anyone that's had to experience a leak in a roof. Watering your home is maybe worse than fire, depending on whether or not you can put the fire out. You know, like Bob Mortimer always said, it was like he burned his house basically burned to the ground, but it was really the water damage that destroyed the house for putting the house out, and not like the fire. You know, the fire ruins everything near the fire. The water just, man, water's bad. Water and fire, two avatar elements you don't want in your house. Earth, fine. Wind, yeah, you need a breeze. Water and fire, keep them out. But yeah, he fixed it. He said totally fixed, not patch job. So whatever it was must have been small.
Like last minute, he was like, I can't do the podcast right now. And so I tried to get some folks on. The people I hit up either didn't get back, or most of them are just unavailable. So I was like, fuck it. We're just doing a solo podcast. And I'm sorry about that, but it will just be a nice short one. I get to completely pick what the Pokemon is, where it goes on the list, all that jazz. We'll be going over the GTA 6 leak news, which is crazy, talking about what I've played, all that, and we'll get in and out pretty quickly. So thank you, everyone.
I'll see about that.
Apologies for not having. This is really weird to do, and it's funny because I talk to the camera a lot for work, but usually I have a script, and to do a one-person podcast is tough. Yes.
He should try this. This is this is also really weird, but strangely, I think it's actually easier than what he's doing because I do still have something to react to, and I don't have to actually talk the whole time. I kind of just want to chime in when I want to chime in. There's moments I might we'll say
Solo. So I was just saying, Slater is here in the chat. He asks Solo. Yes, Solo. Basically, yeah, Chris's wife sick. Tuna has a leak. Those are the two things. Yeah, if Jeff Grubb can do it, I can too. So let's jump into it. Let's get into the show. Pokemon.
I feel like that should be a t-shirt.
546. Let's see. Oh boy. Okay, we have Cottonee. This is a grass fairy type. So it's going to get some points there for being fairy, which is a cool typing. It was introduced as a grass type, so it was just grass when it came out.
Yeah.
But yeah, because fairy types weren't added until.
Which I am going to say, obviously, the second it becomes fairy, I'm way more in on this Pokemon, but boy, does it have a cool evolution.
Prior to Generation 6. Yes, so Generation 6 is when they added fairy type. Okay, so it gets a slight fairy bump, but that is a retroactive fairy addition, which I do not. It's not as you don't get as many points as if you were born a fairy type. Let's see, what have we got? Let's go down to trivia. Barring alternate forms, Cottonee and its evolution are the only Pokemon from Generation 5 to have become fairy type beginning in Generation 6. Okay. Cottonee has the lowest base attack stat of all grass type Pokemon. Not doing yourself any favors there. Cottonee and Petilil can be seen as counterparts. They both evolve once using a Sunstone and share a base stat total of 280. Additionally, Cottonee is exclusive to Black and Black 2, Sun and Ultra Sun, while Petilil is exclusive to Pokemon White, White 2, Moon, and Ultra Moon. They also have similar movesets, so it's not even like a very unique Pokemon. That's gonna be low. Name origin: Cottonee may be derived from cotton, cottony, cottonweed, and possibly wee or small. Its Japanese name, Monmen, may be derived from momen, cotton. Okay, let's look.
I feel like I would have gotten cottonmouth reading all of that through. Speaking of, I like this Pokemon, but not that much. He's probably shortly gonna, he's gonna go to the list. When Let me see. Let me see. I want to say where I would put it, I think, and also where I think Tom's gonna put it. He's not a big fan of the monkeys, either am I. He really doesn't like some of these Pokemon in the 30s. I'm gonna guess that this is gonna be somewhere around 36, but I could be I could, like this could really go one of two ways with Tom. It's gonna be like that, or he's gonna be like, oh, this is a cool Pokemon. I really don't like Conkeldurr. And that's Conkeldurr for me is the new bar. It's it better or worse than Conkeldurr, which like really kind of breaks the whole rest of the list. But yeah, that's like I think that this is a Pokemon that I would put below Drillbur. I'd probably go number 30. This would be the new number 39 for me.
Look at, oh, Shiny's not good. Basically just a slight color variant. I don't like it at all.
Agreed.
Yeah, okay, and then a Pokedex entry, right? Let's see. Let's go back to the original. Oh, this is game locations. We'll go to the original.
Well,
When
actually, I should have been that. Tom's colorblind, so it's not a slight color variant. It actually goes from like green to marigold, maybe. It, I just don't think it looks good. I don't think the cream color instead of the white and the gold, like it. I'm not a fan. I think it's worse.
attacked, it escapes by shooting cotton from its body. The cotton serves as a decoy to distract the attacker. Okay, cool. Would be great if that, again, was something we saw in the games, but, Pokemon gonna Pokemon. Okay, this is
Damn
gonna
right.
go very, very low on the
Oh,
list here.
okay. Let's see. Let's see.
Let's see here.
This would be the 40th Pokemon for me, the new number 39, right below Musharna. Or no, right above Musharna.
I mean, I think I'm
He's
gonna
put it below Girder.
I think I'm gonna put it above Pidove. It's gonna be the new 50.
Whoa.
It's gonna be the new 50.
10 points below.
So it's only above two Pokemon. It's only above Pidove and Palpitoad.
Well, that would make it the new
and then
51.
Everything else this generation beats it out. So there we go. Cottonee,
Oh,
the
never mind.
new number 50 on our Gen 5 Pokemon ranking. So there you go. Okay, what have I been up to? I've been very busy this last week just with work. If you're listening now, I mean, I guess I can spoil it. We've been doing this thing at work called, at outlets, you'll do something called a theme week where you come up with a theme and you write a bunch of articles and do videos around the theme. And GameSpot, I don't know if GameSpot has never done a theme week. They have never done a theme week while I've been there. And it's something that we wanted to do. And we have done something called Cheap Week, which is, everything is getting so expensive in gaming. What are some ways in which you can lower the cost of the hobby? And I wanted to do a video around utilizing the library as a resource.
Yo, Tom didn't tell me about this. Sometimes we do stuff and we specifically don't tell each other. We're like, I'll save it for the pod because this is an interesting thing. And then if we end up telling each other all of these stories outside of the podcast, then we get on and there's not enough to talk about. Or you're like, oh, this would have been interesting to talk about because I think it's good for the podcast. And then you're kind of like having to pretend because you want to go through everything, but everyone already knows the basics. So this is rad. I'm glad he didn't tell me about this. It's cool.
For gaming. And so I've been doing a lot of like on location shooting and just kind of getting that together and just like trying to contact libraries, making sure it's okay to film, speaking to people, yada yada yada. And so it's just a much busier and more involved project than I'm used to. So it's just been a bit of a crazy week there. Did eat those Pokemon donuts. Haven't had all of them. So if you don't know, Krispy Kreme currently does have a donut, Pokemon donut designs that are available. I think they're available until the beginning of September sometime.
These are pretty rad. They look cool. I'm kind of jealous that he tried it. I didn't try them yet. I will say, as cool as that is, the best franchise food crossover event happening right now has got to be the One Piece Happy Meals with SpongeBob and McDonald's. I don't eat McDonald's, um, so it's not really about the food in this instance versus the Pokemon. But the fact that it's not McDonald's and SpongeBob, it's not One Piece and McDonald's. It's One Piece crossed with SpongeBob with McDonald's. It's so strange, but so amazing.
In the beginning of September. And so there's a bunch of designs. There's, I think, 6 Pokemon designs. So there's Squirtle, Charmander, and Bulbasaur. Squirtle, Charmander, and Bulbasaur, Pikachu, Jigglypuff. And then there is a Pokeball design. But that might be it. Let's see. I'm just going to do the counting. 1 Charmander, 1 Bulbasaur, 1 Squirtle. There were 2 Pikachus. There was 1 Jigglypuff. And then there were 2 Pokeballs. And then there were 4 regular donuts in there. So there were 6 designs.
I like the the regular
original
donuts
starters,
got
Pikachu,
on the
Jigglypuff, and then a
count.
Pokeball design. Have only eaten. I fucking housed the regular donuts right away because like I was just like they're there, and they were so small.
I guess maybe he wanted to take pictures of them or something. It's just kind of funny to be like, I'm gonna just start with the plain, boring donuts.
I don't remember Krispy Kreme donuts being this small, and like the other donuts were felt like they were normal size, but the regular glazed ones seemed a bit small, and I've housed all of those. Then Brooke and I tried the other ones. The I think the Pokeball one was essentially like strawberry frosted
There we go.
kind of donut, and then with sprinkles. It didn't really taste anything unusual, I felt, yeah. And then the Jigglypuff one was like a
Push it to sleep.
cream, like more of like a strawberry cream, it felt. I couldn't tell you what flavor it was. Let's look it up, actually. Let's look it up.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's look it up.
Krispy Kreme Pokemon donuts. Okay. Because I was
What we
like,
got?
these just taste good. Like, let's see. Da-da-da. Okay, so the Pokeball donut was sprinkles, of vanilla icing, and then chocolate icing on the top, and then like sprinkles on that chocolate icing drizzle. I guess that's maybe the chocolate icing is the black in the middle.
Probably, which is why it's a
So there you
drizzle.
go.
That
That
makes
one was
sense.
good. I like that.
I was like,
Okay, so Jigglypuff was a strawberry flavored buttercream. That's what the Jigglypuff one was. Jigglypuff was good. Jigglypuff was really good. And then we had the Pikachu donut, which was a lemon
we're
flavored
doing all of
cream.
them.
And
All
this
right.
was good,
Right.
but it wasn't lemony enough. I was hoping for it to really like have a punch of lemon, and it now there is another one in the box, so maybe I'll do another taste test and we'll see. Maybe the second one will be a bit.
I haven't had a Krispy Kreme donut in a very, very long time. The donut game in LA it's strong, very strong donut game. There are a lot of Pacific Northwest places that would argue that they are the king of donuts, and that might be true. But there's a very strong donut game here in Los Angeles, and there are plenty of people that would argue we have the best. I mean, we did create the iconic donut with the iconic donut box. I don't know. As far as I'm aware, I don't actually fucking know. That's what people say. Take it back, Tom.
More lemony, but
Lemon donut sounds good though.
this one wasn't as lemony as I had hoped. Haven't
Mm.
tried the Squirtle one, but that is a cotton candy flavored buttercream.
Ooh,
The Charmander
what they do to my
donut. Now,
boy?
this one freaking slapped. Just like the Charmander himself being the goat, this was the best one. So, this was a caramel icing on the top of the donut, and then it had like these. What are they going to call it?
Kind of lost me with the
Sparks of red and
caramel.
gold sugar.
I was
Yeah,
hoping he
so
was
it
going to
was
say
like these
cinnamon.
like sugar flakes almost that were on like one half of the donut. That give it like the look, make it look like fire.
Oh,
Also
okay.
think it's
That's
the
rad.
best looking of all of the donuts as well. And then in the center, it was a a stuffed donut, I guess.
Oh, that does
Inside
look
the
really
donut,
fucking good.
like a Boston cream, right? But instead of Boston
Shit.
cream, it was chocolate marshmallow. That one was really good. I was
Yeah, that sounds
upset
awesome.
that that was
Squirtles looks
one where
really
we
cool.
only
I
had
can't believe they
one,
made it cotton candy.
unfortunately.
It's crazy they made it cotton candy. Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and Charmander, they really gave them a ton of love. Those look fantastic. Just the flavor on Squirtle, that's fucked up.
That one was the best. And then there is a Bulbasaur donut, and much like Bulbasaur himself, very plain looking donut
Damn.
here. It just says vanilla flavored icing. So it's an original glazed donut dipped in vanilla icing and finished with green frosting leaves. Now the icing looks green, so they've put some coloring in there, but I guess it's just vanilla icing. And then there's frosting leaves, which probably don't taste like anything. So haven't eaten that one, but I'm assuming that one is going to be the least interesting in typical Bulbasaur fashion. So they all kind of, like the Squirtle donut, cotton candy flavor. Like, yeah, I'll eat it. It's not my main pick, right? The Charmander donut being the best. Bulbasaur donut coming out in last there. And then the Pikachu donut just being a disappointment, just like Pikachu himself. Jigglypuff tasty, just like the Pokemon. Yeah, so they do, I think, fit the mold, should we say, of the donuts. So tried those. Those are really good, like I said. Available until sometime in early September. So that is that. What else did we get up to?
Makes me want to find a Krispy Kreme.
We had like the nieces and nephews
I'm not
over
going
the
to.
weekend. That was really fun. We went out a bunch, which was awesome. We had like a really nice lunch, late lunch.
That's right, because Tuna and I were playing Walkabout mini golf. We invited Tom. Tom was out to lunch. No glue player for Tomas.
Yeah, what was it? We went out to a banger meal with some friends on Saturday, and then Friday. Am I getting my weeks right? I might be getting my weeks wrong. Friday. Oh no, yeah, we went out. We went out Friday. We went out with another couple. Basically, did another nice couples date. That was really good. There's this place in Jersey City called Worst Bar, and it's Worst like bratwurst, right? And it is just the most awesome hot dogs. Just these really like nice, like upmarket, I guess, hot dogs. There's one called the Bacon Mac, which is like chorizo, and then there's mac and cheese on it, but like homemade mac and cheese and like onion frizzles. That one is so good. There is the NorCal. We love that one. That one has like a fig jam, goat cheese, arugula. That one always slaps. You usually will get one each and split them and each have a half of the other. And if one of us isn't ordering the NorCal, the other person usually is. So if you're ever in Jersey City, I highly recommend it. It's a great place. They do poutine there as well, and they do a bunch of different types of poutine. Those are great.
This is funny because He's talking about poutine, which is, with fries. And when he mentioned this place, it just reminded me of Tom took me to this place, Pomfret in New York. And then every time that I visited, and I was in the city hanging out with Tom or seeing tuna, I was always like, I want to go Pomfret. And then I think it like burned down. Speaking of fire earlier, there's something happened and it was just gone. And then I think either they moved or they hadn't reopened. It wasn't available anymore, which was a bummer. But it was sick because all they served was fries, and they were very good. They had a few selections of type of fry, but then they had like 30 or 40 different dips and sauces for your fries. It was fucking phenomenal. It was just like this there was like a big aioli station essentially. It was amazing. That sounds like this, but for hot dogs.
Great. That beer, like that beer pretzel that they have. All of
Ooh,
their apps are good. They do like a Brussels sprouts and in a Thai peanut sauce. Oh,
you're making
just
me
so
really
good.
hungry.
And the pretzel that comes out with like some of the best like beer cheese. I guess yeah, beer pretzel with beer cheese. Some of the best beer cheese that I've ever had, and some really fucking tangy mustard. That shit is so good. Honestly, I don't think I've ever ordered, and they even have some stuff there that isn't hot dogs. And that I think I had the chicken sandwich one time when I was there because I just wanted to try something different because it's such a go-to for us, and that chicken sandwich was good too, and reasonably priced. Like $15 for one of these, upmarket hot dogs, and then like if you get the regular poutine, I think it's like $9. So it's not too bad, not too bad, and it's filling. Like you will think like if you just get a hot dog, like as one person, if you ordered the hot dog and poutine, like it's more than enough food. But yeah, really really good. And then there's this place next to it called Gnocchi on Ninth, and I love gnocchi, and or as I think Americans say it, gnocchi, but
It's very good. Doesn't matter how you say it. Gnocchi, gnocchi. It's delicious. But it's so dense. The issue I have with it is I kind of only want it when I'm having like a pasta with other things. And I'm not having it as a full meal because although it's as filling, obviously, volume wise, it looks like you're having less because it's denser, so it takes up less space physically, and so you're like, oh well, like you only need, like it looks like half as many of these little lovely pillow bombs of pasta and potato. As you would, and you just get through it too quick. I always feel like I have to like purposefully like just try and get one at a time to like keep it going. I don't need, unlike tuna who eats faster than I don't know, like tuna maybe he's like that episode of Hey Arnold where he, that kid just houses food. He could have been a professional eater, I think, especially when he was younger. He was built. Like tuna was like this little super skinny kid, and he ate like a ton of food all the time. He was built like a professional eater, and if you have a meal with Alex, within like 2 minutes, he's gonna have an empty plate, and he's gonna be like, "Why aren't you like done? Like, what's taking so long?" Like, he does not like to. He doesn't. He's not a man who can savor or likes to. He just wants to eat the food and be done.
it doesn't make any sense. Um, there's this place next to it called Gnocchi on Ninth, and I would love to go
Oh
there.
yeah,
Yes, and then, oh yes, the next day we did go
maybe
for
last
lunch
weekend.
as well. So we had a nice little splurgy weekend. Um, so there we go. There we go. That was the weekend. What have I been playing? Is another question. I've been playing, obviously, September is right around the corner. So we have some games coming out then that I'm playing some things that I can't talk about, but I have been playing a bit skosh of this Mortal Shell 2. For those that don't know, Mortal Shell was a kind of double A, like smaller AAA game, double A even though AA doesn't really mean anything. But a smaller.
I get this is like review scores with me. Like I understand the purpose of this sort of like nonsensical, like we just as a species like to have a box and a label for fucking everything, even though it often um like a lot of the time it can help, right? Uh it allows you to communicate several pieces of information with just one term, right? You're talking about scope of the game, you're talking about look of the game, you're talking about mechanics of the game, you're talking about the size of the team who makes it, you might be talking about the size of you might be talking about the price of the game, uh the feature set, you might be talking like there are dozens of things that like the single A, like indie, double A, triple A, or quadruple A, which means your game's never fucking coming out. Thank you, Xbox and Perfect Dark. Yeah, it annoys me, but I get the purpose.
Smaller AAA title that is a Souls-like, and the kind of conceit of the Mortal Shell games is that you are this like fragile being, but you can inhabit like the bodies of dead warriors, and you can in the game they have you like hopping from shell to shell, and each of the shells has different things that it can do and different benefits. Like in this newest one, there is a shell that is all about stealth, and it has the ability to go invisible. Um, yeah, and it's really interesting because like the parry mechanic is not something that is uh, you have seals. So you have the shells themselves. You can pick different weapons, and certain weapons obviously work better with some shells. Like right now, I'm using this assassin type shell, but I still have the broadsword from the start of the game, and I want to get like something that's faster. Because right now I'm dealing like really big hits, and I want to be like more nimble and utilizing the invisibility and things like that. So there's the shells, then there's seals, and that determines basically what your left bumper does. So when you start the game, you get the first seal, and that is the parry mechanic, right? That you're familiar with in any Souls game. You can hold it to block, or if you press it just as you're getting attacked, you can parry. That is tied to that seal, and then you can get other seals that do other things. So one of them is like an enhanced parry, essentially, which has a smaller parry window, and your recover from it, timing wise, is slower. So you have to really you can't just be like chancing it. You really have to nail the parry, but the benefit is you do a ton more stagger damage, right? And if you do enough stagger damage, you can do an execution. And so it's a tighter parry window, but the you get more of a benefit if you successfully parry. And then there's another one that I have that hardens, so you basically like go into a hard shell cocoon and you don't take any damage. But again, if you time it right, I think you do like stagger on the enemy as well. And so there's that. You also have a ranged weapon that can get off a couple of shots as well. So it's predominantly melee, and then you have ranged weapons that can do additional damage. I think they do some stagger. I haven't played so much of the game to like really figure out the best flow. Again, seals, and there are these things called tar stones you can get, which are like passive modifiers. Oh, the tar stones are interesting because they have both a passive and active ability, and you can pick at any point what does what. So if you're kind of there are some people I think who like to have more active abilities, right? So abilities that require you to do an action to activate them. And then there are some people who like to have more passives, and they're just in the background and they're happening without you really thinking. So each of these tar stones has both a active and passive, and at any point you can toggle which one it's using. And so you as so between all of these systems, as you can imagine, there's a lot of like build crafting and things you can do. I appreciate the leveling up system. The leveling up system is just when you have enough gloom is the kind of currency that you're picking up. You just level up a number at a beacon, and it isn't asking you to put points into any one thing. You are just leveling up, and that is leveling up all of your stats. All of the decision making when it comes to upgrades are from like the shells and the tar stones and the seals and how you're going to mix and match those. So it's different. It's interesting. When you die, you get knocked out of your shell. And so you're back to being like this weak creature. You have your weapons and everything, but you just can't take a ton of damage. But if you deal enough damage before dying for real, you basically grow back your shell. And so, you don't get all of your health flasks and anything. Like if you had expunged all of your health flasks and then, died and got knocked out of your shell, if you do get your shell back, you are still without health flasks. So it's still a pretty, again, I haven't played enough. I've only been playing in fits. Like I've only really found time to play about like a half hour of it here and there. So I haven't really gotten into a big flow with it, but it's not. I thought it was going to be a bit easier. Like the parry window is pretty generous, like that regular parry. The more difficult parry seal is tough to pull off. So I've just been using like the basic seal because I like parrying, and I would say it's not the hardest Souls-like I've ever jumped into, but there is a fair degree of challenge, and the even having like the kind of second life mechanic with you being the kind of weakened version of yourself, you still have to really watch out, because if you take too much damage, you're done for. I like the fact that so it plays on Steam Deck, and when you load it on Steam Deck, which is basically how I've been playing it exclusively, because again, I haven't really had time to kind of like sit at my computer and play. When you play it on the Steam Deck, it doesn't actually give you the option to futz with any of the performance settings. They're just locked, and you just don't have like you do have like a video menu, right? Which is where you would usually, or graphics or whatever, the menu where you'd usually find graphical settings, but you can only do things like toggling bloom on and off and toggling motion blur and things like that. You can't change the resolution. You pick, if you want to use a upscaler, you can't change textures or volumetric fog or any of these things. It just locks you in. So that's really interesting. I didn't know that. I mean, I guess you can do anything in a game, but like I didn't know that you could, if the game recognized that, oh, it's on a Steam Deck, like we're just not giving people the option to futz with any of these settings, and it's just locked. So I'm really curious.
I think that is pretty cool, because I would assume, and I believe this is correct, that will also automatically allow them to set a similar thing for the Steam machine. And that really does kind of, I mean, fuck, Tom might be about to say something like this, but it does allow the Steam Deck and the Steam machine to act more like consoles and provide that console experience, which I think is really important. Not for the people that are already PC players, but for the kind of audience that Steam wants to attract, that are either lapsed console owners that are returning and looking at the landscape and being like, the fuck's going on here? Or people that are fed up with the rules and restrictions of the consoles and want to go somewhere where they feel like they can own their games more. At least with PlayStation and Xbox. Nintendo is still mostly, except for the game key cards, offering real physical games that you own. They aren't really like either putting all their chips in live service games or streaming.
Curious, like if you play it on Steam machine, does it have a Steam machine build already built in, or is it just using the Steam Deck one? That'd be interesting to find out. So I'd never seen that before. Maybe there are some other games out there that do the same thing, but I've never seen that. It was really bizarre.
Yeah, I guess I could have assumed he would say that. So now, Tom, you're following me up.
To boot up settings to kind of, tinker, and I was hoping to kind of get optimal.
It is, it is kind of funny. I'm just gonna pause him again. Tom recorded first, but I actually, in some ways, get the first word if I decide I want it.
Maybe a few more frames at the sacrifice of this, or what have you. But nope, can't change anything. It runs well. It looks fine. Obviously, it looks like it's running on a Steam Deck, but it seems to kind of be the optimal place of like quality and performance that you would probably want if you were playing it. So it's just super interesting. Gonna spend some more time with it for sure. As we wait for other things to come out. I played a bit more Tōkon, but again, haven't anytime I've really found time to game, it's either been stuff that I've been playing for work or it's been Mortal Shell 2. So haven't been hitting the grindstone. I had a beautiful week with that game.
I haven't played against Tom yet again, but I have been cheating in a little bit of time here and there so that we can play. There's so many characters, and I'm only able to jump in right now, 15 to 20 minutes at a time. So I'm getting a match in. But I look forward to pretty soon having more time and then getting to play with Tom.
And I will return to it and play it and pick it up, and but it's I'm just not I'm not a fighting game guy. It's not gonna speak to me. I kind of burned out a little bit. I feel I played so much in that first weekend, it's all I wanted to play, and then going into that week every day I was like, all right, well, it's kind of just the same matches, and I've played a lot of the different characters, and just kind of I'm not interested in the grind to get better at the game, to refining things. I don't want to learn all of these ridiculous moves, and I'm just never going to want to do that in a game. Knowing how to do this and how to chain it into that, it's too much. I can't be bothering with it. There's a big reason why people who play fighting games just play fighting games, because of how detail oriented and just so precise and so much to learn. It's honestly a whole other language, it feels like, and I'm not interested in that, I'm afraid. So there we go. But it's an awesome fighting game, and I definitely will play it at other times. I will definitely play it again. So was that everything? I think that was everything that I've played. Have I watched anything?
Tom is forgetting that we did play some Walkabout mini golf together, and we played another level in Halo, which pretty good. That second prequel mission, we're getting a mission a week. The second prequel mission was way better than the first. It was a lot of fun.
We'll obviously do the Hey Arnold recap. I'll just be recapping the Hey Arnold episodes for our Spartan subs.
I didn't know he was doing that. That's fucking sick.
So if you are in the Discord, you can subscribe to the Spartan tier. It's only $3 a month, and that will get you access to the live episodes, like Slater was in the chat earlier, and you can interact with us during the episode and watch the sausage get made. and also get the post show, which is usually it's Hey Arnold. Sometimes if one of us isn't here, we don't do it, but the guys.
Well, it's usually Hey Arnold for the last year because Alex wanted to do that. Um, it has taken a long time to get through Hey Arnold because we're doing only 2 episodes a week. So there's basically a year's worth of Hey Arnold, and whenever one of us is out, we don't do it. And it's funny, Alex was like, "Can we just do Hey Arnold anyway?" When I originally couldn't be on before Alex had the leak, and I was like, "Yes, please, just keep it go." I want to do something else. I want to. I love Hey Arnold. I want to get through it a little bit faster. I kind of wish we did it in bigger batches, but because they're 2 parts they're two 13-minute episodes, it does take longer than just so because it's 4 episodes basically. It's two-part episodes. It takes a lot longer than it should. Whereas I want to do Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which Tuna has never fucking seen like, and this guy loves old anime, and he hasn't talked about it on the podcast. I have to remember next week. In fact, someone should just write in and ask this question because I will forget otherwise. But he started watching old anime. Is he watching Outlaw Star? He's gonna watch Cowboy Bebop, which he has never watched before. Oh, he's watching Tenchi Muyo. That's right. Is that what he's watching? See, I can't even remember, but he's watching a bunch of old Cartoon Network era anime, like Toonami that he never saw. And so I'm like, dude, you got to do Cowboy Bebop, and we got to get you on Full Metal Alchemist.
Insisted that we still get through it, so we're going to do Hey Arnold as the post show. But have I been watching anything else? Schitt's Creek. We're in season 5. That show is hilarious. We're still watching a Simpsons every night. We only have, I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast, but we watch for like the last, I mean, it's definitely been over a year. I mean, how many episodes are we on? Fuck, it might almost be 2 years now. Simpson, let's see, what season are we on? So we are on season, I'm pulling up Disney Plus right now. And it's interesting because it definitely was getting worse, but it started to get better again. It's definitely not reaching the heights of those original seasons, but there's something about in the later episodes, these latest seasons, that is like the situations that the family is finding themselves in feel very akin to the kind of dilemmas and plot lines of those first 10-ish seasons. So they're definitely not written as well, but like there's just some really clever moments that are happening. And it, again, I mean, I heard this back, I mean, a decade, I was hearing this like a decade plus ago, which, if we're going by, that is really when I think it started to. I think it had a pretty good run through the 2000s, and then it started to definitely like slow down a bit, right? What was I going to say? I heard back then people would say like, The Simpsons, it's not as good as it was, but it's still one of the best shows on TV, because it's,
Nothing is ever as good as when you first come to it. Which for a lot of people, that's, the beginning of The Simpsons. Like, it'll never be as good for those people as it was when it started.
It was so good in those first 10 seasons. And it definitely had some moments where I was like, most of these episodes are just kind of whatever, but there was nothing bad. There's been some bad episodes, but there was never a string of episodes where I was like, oof, we've really like lost the plot here. But recently it's been picking back up. So we're on season 34. I think we only have 2 more seasons after that, and then we're caught up, which is insane. Let's see, season 34.
All right, now go back to fucking doing One Piece. You would be caught up with One Piece.
Episode 18, so we're almost finished this season. Simpsons season 34, episode 18. Here we go. What number? What overall episode is this? It is the 746th episode overall. So if 365, yeah, we've probably been watching it, right? Because 365 times 2 is 600 and, no,
No.
720,
Yeah.
730. So yeah, so if we've been doing an episode a night, and then we've definitely missed some nights for sure. Like especially when I've been traveling. So it's been way over 2 years now. Holy cow. Okay. Well, there we go. Horrific. Um we watched Longlegs the other night. That is the horror movie from 2024 with Nicolas Cage. My sister came to visit, and after she left, it had just been like a really busy day, and so we just fucking throw on a movie and we'll go to bed. And we threw on Longlegs. Not gonna spoil anything with it. And I'm not actually going to spoil anything with it, unlike Tuna, who would think me just saying that Nicolas Cage was in it was a spoiler. And it was good. It was solid, I'd say. I definitely think that. Now, this movie did not get the same hype as like Obsession or Backrooms got this year, but it definitely was a movie that people were like talking about, and I was excited to go see it, and we just never ended up doing it. And I would say I was let down. I don't think it's a bad film. I just think that I described it to Brooke as like that felt after we were done, I was like, that felt like the first draft of an idea. And it isn't very scary. It could have been really scary. And that I think is the biggest disappointment, is like it's kind of it's a quick film. It's only like an hour 40. And thank God, because I think if they tried to, if the kind of energy of the film had to have been spread out over like something that was like 2 hours plus, I would have been bored, I think. But the fact that we get in and out pretty quickly is good. It doesn't make it drag on. There's really no dead weight in the film, but the moments that are just like meant to be scary aren't. The concept is interesting. Again, it's not really like I think it really falters in the third act. I think that the reveal of what's going on, like I said, interesting, but the first draft of an idea, and I just don't think the payoff or how it ends or anything is really satisfying or earned in any way. I like who plays Harker, the Detective Harker is the. I thought Nicolas Cage as Longlegs was good. I wish there'd again been more. He's the fear of him is and what he does is tantalizing, but they never again really flesh it out enough for it to be compelling, like really compelling. So again, yeah, just wish they'd push that. I think the person that really made it, so Micah Monroe, who played Lee Harker, who is the protagonist, she nails it. She's doing she like she's really good in this, and like she kind of carries the film. Like I think if that role had been miscast with an actor that was wrong for it or was a weaker actor, I think the movie again would have felt even more you would have felt it wouldn't have been again as compelling, but she just really did such a good job. This kind of simultaneous.
Fuck. I did it again. I went to talk. I had the microphone on mute, just playing with the lightsaber again. Look, I'm doing this at like midnight. This is a dumb idea. It's making the episode come out later. Don't know why I did this to myself, but once you commit, you commit. Anyway, Tom said cast. He hates when people say casted. I did one of those. Then I saw I didn't hit record, so fuck me, I guess.
Simultaneously meek person, but she's also a really great detective as well. And she nails kind of both halves of that character. So I thought she did a great job. And I thought Nick Cage was good as Longlegs. Cast the rest of the cast could have been anyone, honestly. Again, short film doesn't really focus on a lot of other people outside of Longlegs and Lee Harker. Worth a watch though, on streaming or whatever. But it does make me worried. I mean, again, not as many people will as emphatically like, oh, you have to see Longlegs, like they've been about Obsession. But now I'm worried that I'm going to watch Obsession and been like, this was overhyped. But we shall see. We shall see. I will get around.
I'm not watching it for a little while. The same with Backrooms. Is just like, yeah, I get it. Like, I can tell what it is. I'm sure it's good. I bet I'll love it. I bet. But like, I've heard it. That's it. Like, I've heard about it too much. I've still never seen Napoleon Dynamite because people didn't shut about it. When, like, sometimes you miss the boat and it never comes back to the dock for you. Sometimes that boat, you just need it to keep sailing.
I will get around to watching it eventually. So there we go. Okay, let's get into some news because there's fucking news.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I've been watching some stuff. Man, I've been watching The Agency. So Teresa's been sick. So she's quarantined because we have a baby, and Teresa's had a fever for over 4 days. They gave her some meds. They think it's going to help. We'll see. So she's been quarantined because we have a 1-year-old. And so, obviously we don't want her or I to get sick. So I've been watching a lot of movies late at night because I'm just like bored, and I've got the living room, I've got the nice bed for that. I also have the pull out down here. Probably just sleep in the office. I'm tired tonight at this point. I've been watching The Agency because there is the problem of we watch most of the same movies and TV shows. So like whenever she's not around for a bit, like if she's traveling for work or whatever, it's like, all right, well, what the fuck do I watch? Because unlike Tuna, I cannot pull off the like, I'm gonna sneaky watch it and then I'm gonna pretend like I haven't seen it. I can't. I'm not. I get caught. It's not worth it. And she also would have been mad, but like truthfully, like whenever I have seen stuff, she'll be like, "I'll watch it alone." Then I do, and then I'm like, I want to make the comment, and then and then when you're watching it with them, you're not paying as much attention because you've already seen it. So it's The Agency. It's a spy show. It's been pretty good. I'm in the middle of the second season. It's Michael Fassbender. It's a lot slower. I would say, I recommended The Jackal previously. Between the two, I definitely still recommend The Jackal over this. But this does have 2 seasons so far. And he's like a CIA agent. He's out in the field. He gets brought back. They are at like an office stationed in London, so it's very like European, international spy affair that's going on. And it's good. He plays a good spy. Ted Lasso is back. This third episode has been the best one yet. I really feel like now they are running full speed. I think the new coach that they have for the women's team, she's like the assistant coach, I guess. She is fantastic, amazing cast right there. Or casted Tom. And then also on Ted Lasso, we have well, they did a good gag casting, which I think was brilliant. They had the actual sister of Danny Rojas come and play his sister. They do like tryouts, and it's very funny, and it's his real life sister as well. Which, by the way, if you don't know, that actor is now actually playing professional football in Mexico. So that whole thing is pretty cool. Gosh, what was her name? I'm trying to look this up. There was a character, an actress in Andor is now in the new season of Ted Lasso. She's someone that comes in, and honestly, the second she showed up, I was pretty excited about it because she was so rad. It was the woman who played Vel. She's like the one who was responsible for the bank heist in the first season of Andor, and she's throughout the second season. It's very, very, very good. I like, yeah, it's awesome. If you liked it previously and you haven't seen it, you're apprehensive it wasn't going to be good. Let this lower your concerns or fears. I definitely think it's worth it. Kind of like that new season of Scrubs. Although this is really coming back only after a couple of years, but it's great. Silo's been fine. Gosh, what else? What else? I know that there's like some other movies. Oh, Matilda. I'm rewatching old movies as well. Matilda is so good still. And like I feel like we're still at a place that it doesn't need to be remade. But if they were going to remake it, I think Mrs. Honey should be played by Jennifer Garner. I think she'd be a great Mrs. Honey, although like age-wise, I think we're maybe running in on that soon. So do it. But you don't need to. You don't need to.
News to talk about. So,
GTA.
GTA 6 got leaked to hell. There is. I mean, do you want to go into it? Do you want me to talk about everything?
Well, not everything.
I don't know if people want. I mean, the map has been leaked, right? Like, so there's that. New systems have been leaked. The wanted system has been leaked, like how that works, how loadouts work and storage works, NPC interactions. The big thing being,
I haven't read all of this,
and this one was hard to escape online. But the big thing being that you have to fuel cars, and this is what I was talking about before, where I was like, I want the kind of attention to detail that they had in Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, I want that for this game. And so I'm actually...
Tom seems like he's going to be into it. I'll tell you who is not. Tuna is so annoyed about this, predictably. And I think it's great.
Actually, again, I think I need... Like, people kind of... on the internet were like, oh no, the fuel thing sucks, and people were like, oh no, that's what we want. There's no way of telling if it's good or not until you've played the game. You can't tell if it's a good decision or a bad decision until you've played the game. Like, if I was to say ahead of Breath of the Wild, there's weapon degradation and people getting all up in arms or defending it, until you fucking played the game, you're not gonna fucking know.
I mostly agree with Tom here. In fact, like I do fully agree. However, I think you also don't want to ignore the fact that what people are really expressing is that, something from the game is now missing, and something maybe they liked about the game and a thing that they like to do may not be possible anymore. There are people that like to just get in this game and cruise around uninterrupted. And now if they have to if that's no longer an option outside of like maybe some sort of like online free roam or like some later unlockable or something, I think people will be disappointed about it. I think there are a lot of people who just want to like vibe out in the car with the radio station on and just drive endlessly. And now if you're going to have to stop and you're going to have to it's going to be really annoying. But again, we don't know how it works. We don't know if that's the case, but I also understand people being annoyed about that. But he's not wrong.
If it's good or not. And so with the fuel thing, I need to see it in action. If it's going to severely hamper the gameplay experience, then okay. But if it feels additive and immersive, like, it has the potential to be good. So like I kind of don't have a horse in this race because I haven't played the fucking game.
okay, so I just want to share where I am with this whole GTA refueling thing because when it came out, I was very much on Team Tuna of like, why we don't who wants this? Like, I don't want this to get in the way of the things I like to do in GTA. However, later that very night, and I want you to go and Google these words: LA motorcycle chase, fuel. Put it in TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you want to look. You are going to see the most incredible thing because the reason we have so many chases in LA is the geography, which I talked about in an old challenge punishment where I had to do a presentation on why LA is bad. And one of the things that I did a presentation on is the geography uh, causes some of our weather issues with heat and trapping smog. And it also means that it is hard to monitor things like traffic and policing and so on and so forth. So we have a lot of helicopters because it's the only way for them to be able to like quickly like look at things from the valley over through the hills over on the other side of there's just a lot of it with the mountains. And because we're a basin, we have valleys and we're a basin. So that's why you have all of these like top down, like amazing, like shot, like chases in LA. It's not just that we just have people stealing cars all the time. We just have we have the infrastructure for cinematic chases. So you get them. So this guy is on a motorcycle and he's got to refuel, which is it's unbelievable the timing of this. It literally felt like the Grand Theft Auto 6 patch was just patched into GTA 5. That's what it looked like on TV. It's like GTA 5 just got the fuel update in LA, and now LA, we have just a live, like someone at Rockstar, like this is how you know we're in a simulation because someone at Rockstar pushed out the update into GTA 6. They're like, all right, fuel is active now in the game. And then it got something got messed up in the servers, and now it's happened in Grand Theft Auto 5. So if you live in LA, you're watching this car chase, the motorcycle is refueling at the gas station, and it's just so funny because you can see the tension. The guy is like trying to refuel so fast, and he just takes off with the pump still attached after he gets some juice because the cops are about to like come in on the place. So like time's up, like hope you got enough gas. And then the wildest thing happened in the world, and boy, is this just such a nightmare shame for Grand Theft Auto 6 because there is no way that they are going to out parody reality. You just cannot anymore. We live in such a crazy psycho world. And that is something that I think is just not, I really think the narrative stuff like is the biggest cause of concern in this game because you have to write a lot of this stuff a long time ago. And no matter how outlandish they may have made things in that game, it's going to be less crazy than reality is now. And so this guy did something that I feel like you won't see in Grand Theft Auto, and I hope they put this in. But he goes and he just pulls off to the side. It doesn't even look like a park. It's probably just like a grassy side field that was open, like adjacent to the highway. And someone dropped off what looked like a gallon water bottle that was filled with fuel. There was no one there. It was already waiting for him in the grass. And it was you like the announcer, like the person, the newscaster was like, someone must have already left fuel for him there. Someone knew he was coming. It was great. You couldn't make this. You couldn't script that for a game. No, it was amazing. But that did make me go, you know what? After having seen Fuel in GTA 5 live on TV, I'm now on team. I'm on Team Fuel. I'm on Team Fuel. I just hope there's a way for the people that want to vibe to keep vibing and driving.
Slater in the chat asks, GTA Online is not launching in November, right? All signs point to GTA Online not being, or the new GTA Online, I should say, because GTA Online will still exist. It'll just be the one based on GTA 5. The new version of GTA Online is not, it pretty clear that it's not going to launch in November. And I don't think we kind of really have any concept of when that might change. It obviously won't be until next year. Could it be even later than that? Potentially. I think Rockstar would want to get it out next year. To me, it feels like maybe they aim for summer. So like this game has maybe like 6 months single player.
That's interesting. Something I hadn't considered until right now is the benefit of this online service not coming out now is they get to kick the can on that, and not in just the like Oh, they have time to make sure that the main game is launched and patched and runs correctly, and they can, get Online up smoothly based on like how many people bought the game, how many people are so regularly playing the game. Like maybe we can make a more educated guess as to how many people are going to play GTA Online based on that, those metrics, so that the server won't just be down constantly when they're trying to launch the game. But the other thing is, I think there are a lot of people that are wondering, and I'm sure there are a lot of people within the industry who look at how much money this game makes, and they must be saying like, how do you pivot these people to a new game? These people who have spent so much money inside that old game, how do you bring them into the new game? Is there going to be some sort of like, is there going to be a version of GTA Online that also has Los Santos? Is it gonna have like the GTA 5 world within it? Is that going to be something that's going to happen? So that like, maybe your credit card and all your shark credits and everything can carry over into the new game, your premium currency, and you can just switch between zones. Like, is it going to be something just because there are a lot of people that have money spent and it's going to be hard to get them to pivot from the old game to the new one when they have all of their things unlocked, this, that, and the other. And it's like, well, hey, if you still have all of that, you can go into it anytime you want from the main game, but you can also fly to the other side of the country and you have all these new cars and things you can get. And like they're kind of siloed away from each other, but it allows you to access both and can help like that. Is one way they could do it. But the benefit of making people wait a long time is people are going to be itchy because the people who are playing GTA Online, they are going to play GTA 6. But if GTA 6 Online was available at day one, there's a chance that those people like kind of might lament it and feel salty about the game. But give them, 6, 8, 12 plus months of the single player and just thinking about how many fun things they'll be able to do with their friends. I don't think the bigger concern for most players is going to be like their legacy content from GTA 5. So it might make that transition actually a lot easier because people are going to be like just really craving it in a different way than like they're gonna have more time to prepare to like say goodbye to the old game, which is really it's truly a thing. Like there's gonna be a lot of people that have an attachment to the money and time they spent in that game, and the idea of feeling like they're starting over. That's a tough sell.
Only, and then introducing the online system. Um, yeah. So there's been a bunch of things. It's come from this person called I think they're called like Cyberleak or something. Let's see. Yeah,
Cyberleak,
Cyberleak.
Cyberleak.
People, there's questions over how old the footage is,
Lots of
how
questions.
recent it is. Some of the leaks had music in it from last year, so people have been thinking that okay, this build is at least as recent as last year. There was also this thing where there was footage where it was Jason and he was shooting into a wall, Jason being the main character. He was shooting into a wall and, causing, making bullet holes, and they spelled leaks. So people have been thinking that he might have a playable build. That's been dubious. And then there was even reporting coming out of they may have even like arrested the person that is doing this.
I think I believe I've more recently now heard that there might be some I don't know if this is true, but there might be some playtesting going on with some people in a limited fashion, or maybe this is related to the capture of like whatever footage is being used for the Netflix reveal. But it seems like there might have been other recent opportunities for footage to be captured and leaked. I also wouldn't put it past a disgruntled employee.
Let's see. The night before another leak. I'm looking at the Reddit for Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, so I think people are let's see. Yeah, I mean
Also, wouldn't be shocked if it's just like some executive's kid, just some like spoiled kid who just like doesn't care and is like, I'm just gonna get like crypto money for this and is gonna get caught soon.
People are saying that they think he might have been arrested. Um, yeah. So maybe there'll be more leaks coming. Maybe there won't. This isn't going to affect the sales of the game. This isn't going to stop anyone from buying this game. But it's crazy. So, I mean, something has happened. Um, we don't know, but how they got their hands on this. We don't know who they are. But if you want to avoid spoilers, don't go on the internet and look at stuff to do with GTA. So there we go on that front. What else? There have been previews for, so if you're listening now, the Duskblood.
This is weird. I am listening now and can comment. This is actually this is the first time he's mocking something I said when I like literally was recording this from my car on my lunch break at the Apple Store over a decade ago. And now it's happened. I am listening now, Tom.
Trial, not beta. What is it? It is a network test.
Shit.
The network test for Dustbloods is live, and but people have been playing it.
That's
Jake
right.
Decker, who works at GameSpot, was the person for our team that went out to Japan to check out the game. And their preview says, let's see. I've never played anything like the Dustbloods, and I cannot wait to play more. So the way that the Duskbloods seems to work is, they've described it as PvPvE. Miyazaki has, in an interview that Jake did with Miyazaki, the director of the game, in an interview he did and other interviews, he's kind of walked back the PvPvE statements. He likens it more to like a board game. So basically what happens is it's got a bit of Night Rain DNA in it. You load into the map, you start in different, you can pick where on the map you start, which is different from Night Rain, which is kind of just loads you from, there was like maybe a dozen, maybe less, I don't know, but there was specific points on the map you would be spawned into in Night Rain, and it was kind of randomized, but they were always like the set same places. It just depended on which one you ended up at, just depended on the game. But this one you can pick, and you basically are trying to accrue virtue points, and virtue points can be obtained by a bunch of different actions. There's 8 people on the map at once. However, while you can do PvP stuff, for most of the game, you aren't actually benefiting by doing PvP stuff. There are select moments over the course of the game where it makes sense to do PvP, and then at the end of the game, it's all kind of PvP. So 8 players start, or there's a duos mode, which is 4 teams of 2. And yeah, you're mostly doing PvE stuff, and you're getting virtue points by doing certain actions. So it is a little bit like Catan, where it's like, in Catan, if you're the person with the most roads or the biggest army, you are getting points. But if someone else builds a longer road, they end up getting points. And it can kind of go back and forth until, the game, someone, reaches you get to the end of the game. So I think it's like most enemies killed will get you points if you, have the most enemies killed. Killing bosses can get you points. There are also things called seals or sigils that the characters have. I think in the network test you can't pick what sigil. It just, whatever character you pick, they will have a certain sigil attached to them. I think in the full game, then that's meant to be a separate system where you can pick the sigil, but the sigil is like an objective unique to your character, and so you can go and try and accomplish that objective, and that will be a way that only you can get certain victory points, or sorry, virtue points. So there's 4 phases. At the end of phase 1, it just rolls right into phase 2, and if you die, you're not eliminated from the game. You respawn back in. The only way you leave the game is if you don't have enough virtue points. So at the end of phase 2, there will be these, I forget what they're called, but it's meant to be like a King of the Hill type situation, where there are these points on the map where you're trying to hold these points, and if you hold them long enough, you get virtue points.
Yeah, it sounds like King of the Hill or Territories. Everything I've seen about this game looks fucking rad. Now, I'm guessing that Tom is going to check some of this out. He's not going to check out all of this. So it's going to comment this when he first started talking about it, but just in case, I was like, I'm going to leave it towards the end. I saw how well received this is being, so I went, God, they better not fuck up the servers with this launch. But I went and I picked this up on Fantasy Critic. Only reason I'm not putting this on his radar is I don't want him to go and outbid me. But then again, I did put a lot of money on it. Not the draft, not like who wins, but just like allocated of my funds. That being said, I think his stuff's pretty locked in, and everything else he has left is also very good.
And this event happens at the end of both phases 2 and 3. And it's in this moment that you can get virtue points by fighting other people and killing other players, as they're trying to take the hill. At the end of phase 2, if the players with, I think it's like the players with the 2 lowest amount of virtue points are kicked from the game, and the rest of the team goes into phase 3, or the 6 remaining players go into phase 3. At the end of phase 3, you have another round of the King of the Hill. Again, optional. You can try and get virtue points by doing other things. You do not have to partake in these events, but they do happen. And then at the end of phase 3, if they are the 3 lowest scoring players are then kicked, and then phase 4 is the top 3 players all fighting against one another, and then the winner of that is the winner of the match.
Royal
and
Rumble.
that is kind of how the matches are structured in Bloodborne. Sorry, not Bloodborne. Fuck, Duskbloods.
This does sound a little bit like, when you're doing a battle royale and then you get down to like the final like 20, but like just kind of a little bit more accelerated. And, it doesn't sound like it feels that same tension to probably get down to the final 5, final 4, because like, okay, who's going to be in my 3? And you might be looking at like the 5 or 4 and being like, now might be a risky but nice time to like get rid of that guy. Maybe we can double team, or we can start something up when there's a couple people around, then we can get out. I don't know. I look forward to playing this.
Fuck, Duskbloods. Whoops, slip of the tongue. So like I said, there's a duos mode. You can team up with other people. Even in the, in solo or duos mode, you can team up, and you can actually link with the other person so that you can't deal any damage to them, and they can't deal any damage to you. And then if you both make it toward the final 3, the bond is broken, and you face you have to face off against one another. But you can actually align yourself and make allegiances with people in the middle of the game, which I thought was interesting. And yeah, and then all of the different characters do different things. It's fast paced and very a lot of verticality, again, like Night Rain. So I'm very eager to get my hands on it. The network test is over the weekend, and it's at weird times here on the East Coast. But I think tomorrow night I should be able to get in. I'm very excited. I loved Night Rain,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah, we all got
I'm
accepted. I should try it.
hopeful that this will. I'll enjoy. I will enjoy this as much as I did that, and hopefully more. So there we go. Was there any other news? 2XKO is ending active development. The game will stay online. This is the League of Legends fighting game that really just did not set the world on fire.
It's funny he says that because like I feel like I just wouldn't know because I don't engage with any Riot stuff, and there's just like there are people that are like they're Riot people, or they're like Blizzard people or active, like they play, like some of these creators, like some of these developers, people follow them and play like I'm with Nintendo, and because they don't play Riot games, I don't hear about them, and yet they have some of the biggest games in the world, or at least have had. Um, so this could have equally been like, oh yeah, that it's the fourth biggest game. I'd be like, really? Like who? I'd never hear about it.
And so they are shutting down development of it, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, sucks.
I'm
honestly surprised.
I think that's.
I feel like those companies are good at like letting their games run, but I don't even know how long it's been up.
For stuff over the week.
I'm thinking about playing all the Kingdom Hearts games because that new one looks sick. And I've never played any of them. I remember watching Tuna play 2. I think I might play the Kingdom Hearts games. I was thinking about doing Final Fantasy 7.
Over the weekend, from D23, they're saying 2027, and they're pretty confident, it seems, that it's going to be 2027. And it was interesting because it wasn't an official like announcement. It was just the producer being like, we're tracking for 2027 and we're feeling really good about that. But it feels like they haven't put that date out anywhere. He's just said that. So that's interesting. Okay. So there we go. Let's see. Do we have any questions for the pod?
I have an email that I should have read a long time ago, and it didn't. And so I'm just gonna pull it up. Polsky. There it is. God of War from Hoxton Hernandez. Hey guys, Hoxton again. I just checked out that state of play. I've played Rayman Legends before. It's a really fun platform. I'm excited to play the new one. It's fast paced, and each level only takes a couple of minutes to complete. And that said, Rayman Legends on Nintendo Switch has something like 80 levels. So there's plenty of content there. The new God of War looks gorgeous as long as the cube and ribbon mechanics don't end up being too annoying and the story is good. I think we could be looking at Game of the Year contender. I do have one concern though. I didn't notice any health indicators on the enemies. I hate it when combat-focused games don't have them. I know the game is still in development, but I hope they add them. As always, thank you for reading my emails on the podcast. Stay unranked and suck it. You know what? Thanks, man. You suck it too. Hell yeah.
I'm going to need people for next week, go drop questions in the questions for the pod channel. Because there we go.
Call 805-738-8692.
Popping off. People just posting that.
Shit, we do have a voicemail, but I'm not going to play that alone.
Ron
sorry.
Posted it today. Cole will be just you on stretched out arms.
Play that next week.
Mine into her. That's sweet.
Go
over to the Discord if you're not a part of it. And if you like it there, consider joining the Spartan sub so you can subscribe to this podcast. I have been going for almost an hour. I would say that's pretty impressive. So I think it's about time we wrap it up.
I agree. Good
Thank
job.
you, everyone. I'm
Go
really
team.
sorry that the gang was not all here. I'm sure next week, hopefully, if we're
Oh,
all good to go, we will hear all about the nightmare situations the boys found themselves in. Thank you very much, Slater. Appreciate you hanging there with me for this hour. We are going to talk about Hey Arnold on
MVP.
the post show. But until then, for everyone else, stay unranked and suck it.